Hi, good afternoon. How's everybody doing today? I guess in some places it's good evening. Okay, today, uh, what I'd like to do is we're near the end. We're in the penultimate month of 2024, November. What is today? The second. Um, So I thought, well, let's see if you had any watches you really like from 2024. Hi, Allie, how you doing? Yeah, so far so good. Now, let me kick things off. Obviously, I had on the announcement, I had the Pioneer retrograde seconds, and I really liked it. Thanks, Allie. I need to know that. Let me show you one though. I've always liked, this is by a young watchmaker. His name is Remy Cool. What a name! One second. Let me bring that up here real quick. Um, this watch I think is the kind of watch I generally like. It's hand wound. It's got a low frequency. The only thing about it I'm not crazy about is the tourbillon, but still, if you're going to have a tourbillon, this wouldn't be a bad one. I like the simplicity of this watch, and I like the way the sort of the two tracks on the timekeeping at the top work. How the smaller one goes into the for sort of an hour track, and the outer one goes in for a minute track. Really nicely designed. It's just a simple, good looking watch. Now, okay, so to get started, I started off with actually two watches, Remy Cool's watch and then the Pioneer retrograde seconds. Why do I like the Pioneer retrograde seconds? Um, I just like retrograde seconds for one thing, but I'm familiar with the guys who made it and stuff. This is the watchmakers at Agenor did the module for the retrograde seconds, and the design they did at H. Moser, so you could see the little double snail cam going around and how the what was kicking back and forth the retrograde movement. Okay, doke. Your turn now. Hi, Jose. How you doing? Ali, would it be possible to ask Agenor to use the CAD file provided by Marco Lang for Zeitwich Watch to build the same movement for us? I don't know. Um, I don't know. It may be possible for a very expensive watch. I don't know though. That's an interesting question. I've got another watch that I have in mind when I go see Agenor. This is what I'd really like to do. Okay, and it's probably out of the sort of the wheel uh, wheel room, I guess, of Larique. But what I wanted, and I still want it, is a nice. Let's see if I got something even close to it. Hang on a second. Let me see. This is a watch I've been working on. I've been rebuilding it ever since. Let me see if I can hold it here so it won't. Okay. This is simply the dial of the watch, but it's a simple dial. And actually, I suppose I should hold it this way so you can see it because the small seconds is at 6 o'clock. Okay, now what I'd like is this: make a deal with Agenor and Daniela Dufour. Okay. And my ideal watch has two features in it. One would be a big balance wheel. In fact, a good name for this watch would be Le Grand Balance or Le Balance Grand. I don't know how to say it. I probably said it wrong in French anyway. But then they'd have at the top, there'd be the barrel and the winder. And then you'd have some finger bridges to hold down the different gears on the gear train, and then down another one for the escape wheel at the bottom. And so you could look at it and you could see the whole movement. And then, of course, and then with a nice big balance, single barrels, because you don't want to take up a bunch of room otherwise. And then, but here's the part I don't think the guys at LaRue could want. This would be a movement that Agenor and Dufour, Daniela Dufour, could sell to anybody. All right. And the reason thinking behind this is if you have a larger audience, you can bring the price down. The development price on this would be hefty because they'd have to start with a brand new movement. But then you'd get a really good movement for that. A lot of different, micro brands and sort of a collectors could get together on and make any kind of watch they wanted or any looking kind of watch they wanted. Now that would be my ideal. I'm gonna see what Agenor has to say, and I'm gonna try to meet with Daniela Dufour and see what she has to say about that. But like I said, LaRue is sort of special because what we do is make one watch at a time. So far we've had a new movement, and all of them are based on Agenor movement. There's not a single thing in there that's outside of that. But it's like that's it. That belongs to us. Now this is Agenor's policy. So this would be a very different kind of policy. It's sort of like this is every collector's base movement. So anyway, okay, that's what I like. Hi, Michael. How you doing? Hey, Mark. Truman. Hey, Cam. Gabriel. What are your thoughts on the Cubas? A lot of people have asked me that. Meh, how's that? That's my take on it. Sort of a double meh. Not crazy. I mean, the design is nothing to, what was it? There's another George somebody, I think. There was a watch that came out last year that had a very similar design for a fraction of the price. I forgot what it was, the name of the maker. But I looked at them and it was well made, and so is that. So that's one thing about the Cubas. The other thing, I don't want watches with silicone hairsprings. I don't care who thinks they're great. I know that Patek Philippe started stuffing those things in 2009. And so I've lost total interest in it. Same thing with Swatch movements that have used silicone. They're not for me. So there's my answer, Gabriel. Yeah. Well, Ali, this would be something that there would be this would be something that would be a sort of a simple classic design. Simple and classic. If you want to try simple and classic, it'd be great. Michael, would Agenor just make a standard movement for the world? Now, this wouldn't be this. It would be with the permission of the people who invested in it. They might. I mean, it would be a heck of a good thing for them because then, every Tom, Dick, and Harry who wanted a really good movement could get it from Agenor. and then go out and hire a designer for the dial and the case and so forth, and hands. So, I mean, to them, it'd be a windfall. Now, here's one of the other reasons that I think it'd be great for them is that the more parts you order for a movement, the price goes way down. What we did, we ordered, sort of did a double order for Arizulu and Santais, the fourth one that we're working on. So that helped to reduce the price. Now, if you had one that a lot of different people were working on, but it was the same one, it had that same feature. I'll tell you something, in many ways, the idea was from the UWD 33.1 by Marco Lang. And that watch did extremely well. I mean, not the watch, but the movement. A lot of different people wanted it. And they went along with it for a while, but then they said no more. And I'm not sure why. But they, that was what they did. I think a lot of really good watch companies like Showpack and some of these other ones that really want to use a good movement in their watches could use that as a base. Then they could do whatever they wanted with adding sort of complications on top of it. That's okay. That's for me. Now, what do you guys want? Enough about mine thing. I already mouthed off for two so far. What would be the one you really like for 2024? HRM, the letter triple observatory. Oh yeah, I love that watch. Yes, yes indeed. I like that a lot. It's a beautiful watch. Truman should have called it Mad Bus. They haven't got a lot of love on that watch. Here's the thing. I've got a great deal of respect for Patek Philippe. I have no respect for whoever made that stupid decision, though. Don't put it that way. In fact, there's on my list, there is a Patek Philippe, but it was made before 2009. An easy way to find the quote, the good ones of Patek Philippe and the ones that, they're good. I mean, they're good for that. You're not as likely to have certain problems with silicon, but you can't adjust them to, I mean, you can't adjust the curve regulator on it. So, but otherwise, they're fine. What I want to know about what you guys want. Okay, so we got one so far. HRM really picked a winner there with that letter triple observatory. That thing is just a wonderful watch. Yeah, I do too. That other guy, would Larique consider doing a skeletonized movement to really show off the caliber? For the back of it, yeah, I like it for the back. I wish they would. I've asked him about that, but I don't know. I think they would have to involve if I would really like to see I don't want to call it skeletonized. I'd rather see him use those, the little bridges and stuff rather than putting those big plates on there so you can't see anything. Skeletonized, what you're really doing, I think, with some skeletonized, instead of using an artful use of, delicate bridges and stuff, they're sort of like carving out from a plate that was never meant to show off things. They were for one of two reasons. One reason for a solid plate is that it holds things together better. The other reason has to do with production. With a big plate, you can pop that on top, and all of the it would be difficult for me, but I think in a production environment where you have all of uh, uh, the poles, the shafts, all of the shafts for the key train, you pop that on there. On the other hand, if you carve around that, uh, so rather than skeletonizing it, I think you'd rather use a sort of a combination of delicate bridges. I'll put it that way. Okay. Oh, you guys, let's see. Remy Cools. Yeah, we got that one. I agree with that one on that. Etude number 2. Oh, Mark, I hope so. that's been a tough one. God, Etude number 2. It's a beautiful watch, but my God, have we just. Anyway, how you doing, Abdul? Good to see you. Binneran Mirage looked like a simple watch to another level. That's Binneran. That's another one. I think it's going to be an up and coming. We'll see what happens with them. I'm very interested in it. Michael, non-complicated minute repeater, if that exists. Or to me, I know it's not that, but I'd be perfectly happy with, since I can't hear with a bean anyway, I'd be perfectly happy with a bel canto. That would be cool though. I know what you mean. A non-complicated minute repeater. You like my flannel shirt? Man, this winter's coming. You're going to see a lot of flannel shirts. Hey, Rustam, how you doing? Unrelated question. Okay, are there any other watchmakers except FP Journe that make movements out of solid gold? That's funny you asked that because I was talking to Christine Hutter, and I think that they either use a lot of gold in their movement, or maybe I missed something, or maybe it was in the cases. We were talking about the Hematic, but I don't know of any other one that does, but there could be. I mean, I don't know, maybe Patek Philippe has some of the movement parts out of gold. I just don't know, but it's a very good question. Truman, the cheapest Agenor I could find is this Moser Streamliner flyback chrono for $45,000. Yeah, that's with an Agenor chronograph. The Pioneer retrograde seconds, the one that I like, is $19,000. So, I think if you get in time, I think that'll go, like most other watches, they'll go down in price, but I don't know, so many post new watches are going all over the place. I have 2 Daniel Roth watches, and both of them have gone way up since I bought them, and it was just about 2 or 3 years ago, because I like Daniel Roth stuff. By the way, that's another watch in the Grand Prix that I really, really like. Thomas, hi Thomas. The Longa Datograph Perpetual Tourbillon Honeygold Lumen look like a really nice watch. Yeah, there's something that I like, that honey gold color. There's another color that's used by Chanel called blonde gold, and it has this really cool look to it. I think honey gold probably has a lot in common with that color. Well, Rancher's here. Hi, Rancher. By the way, too, let me publicly thank Rancher for coming up with this topic. I thought it was a good topic. Um, Glad you could make it. A Trump tourbillon. Oh, well, some people would say, yeah, hey, that'd be great to have a watch that goes backward. Other people may have other views on that one. Okay, no politics. Hi, Jose. What's up? Okay. Just talking about Shaft, huh? Ellie. Okie doke. I would love a skeletonized watch with an electrochromic sapphire dial and mechanical dynamo. Whoa. Hi, Belinda. Hi again, Rutem. Do you really know the expected value of the new Lyrique? I I hope so. Eventually, I'll know it once we get all of the challenges ironed out. We're sort of got a good, well, I'll call it a toehold, a beachhead on the our next watch called Arizulu. The one after that, by that Abdul is coordinating, is the jumping hour. I'm trying to think of the name. I'm trying to think how to pronounce it. I had it written down somewhere, but it's Sat something. Anyway, it's a cool watch too. I like the Moser release with the beautiful retrograde second. Yeah, that's the one that I chose too, Abdul. It's called the Pioneer Retrograde Seconds. And the thing I like the most about it is that it turns out to be awfully small. I saw one at the Watch Time show. In fact, I took a picture of it, a blurry picture naturally, but it's a very small snail cam. It's a little bitty snail cam, but you put the old loop on it, and you can see it go to town on the retrograde. Have you shared your thoughts on the QBS? Yeah, people have asked me. I just shared them. It was the man. How's that? I listen. If you ask me anything about a Patek Philippe since 2009, it's like it's not. It sort of has left my tool house, so to speak, my wheelhouse. I just don't care about watches with silicon. I mean, if somebody says, "Oh, what about this really cool quartz watch?" Okay, not in my purview. I'll put it that way, and that's what's happened. I think with all of the Swatch watches, all of the brands, to me they totally screwed up. That they've done that too. And now, yeah, it solves certain problems, but it takes away any kind of curb regulation. So, you know. Now, do we have an expected value for the new one? I don't know. We're trying to with Larique. It seems that every lesson we learn five more lessons. I think this next lesson with a third one, the Arizulu, and the one after that, I don't want to call it number four because we're out of the etude numbering thing, and now we're in the air, the hour, Heure. We're getting. I like to think of it that we're not getting better. We're getting more pretentious, so, and that's important to me. We have a one of the top watchmakers in the world, but it seems that sometimes you can have one part that's fine, but then you climb into a clown car with a whole bunch of other providers and something happens, and God forbid that watchmaking is good watchmaking is a real challenge. Parmigiani New Toric has a movement made of 18 karat gold. Okay, I believe that. Um, yeah, that the new guy, Guido, something like that. Yeah, he's really turned around the look of it, and so it's a much smoother look, much simpler, I think. Saw my first Lyrique today, Cadillac Lyrique. Oh yeah, I saw those too. They don't spell it that way though. They have a different spelling. Wait a minute. It's not a. I got one right here. Hang on, just a second to show you that it's not a unicorn. Let me get my. I used to have two of them. One. Whoa. We discovered something that had to be fixed. Okay. Here is. Boy, this is my Lyrique. This watch is such a good watch. I love my Lyrique. I'm trying to figure out which watches to take with me to Switzerland. I don't know if I'm thinking maybe I'll take my German watch coming home. I didn't go to Germany. I just went to Switzerland. Okay, enough about the mythical unicorn, Truman. Hey, Damon, how you doing? The new Moser Masura Labs chronograph. So much so that I bought it. Wow. But then I had to return it. It sat so small on my wrist and the dial was unreadable to me. That is interesting, Damon. I have I happen to like the streamliner with the uh, agrograph movement in it. I mean, for a chronograph. The other one, the one that they did with Messina Labs, I'm surprised it wore small on your wrist. Looked big to me, but what do I know? Mark, aren't you going to say something other than being just a nice guy? Mark J. Mark is our man from H. Moser. One of the problems, Mark, I'm going to talk about you. I hope you don't feel bad. Mark asked me every now and then, what should I get next? It's sort of like, well, Mark, you've got a pretty good watch right now. So don't ask, I'm going to get something better than this. That's probably not going to happen, unless you've got like $1 million or something. Really you got the great watch. I really like to see that. Okay. Um, oh, my Fabergé. Yeah, I love. Oh, yes, the Fabergé dual time zone. That's another honey of a watch. I was wearing my Fabergé the other day with the Frederick Piguet movement. God, I love that watch, and I was trying to figure out why. And man, I like that watch a lot. Invincible Master. Love to see you and Federico in a video someday. Yeah, I like Federico. He's a good guy. See, my problem is I don't sell watches, and I might say something that Federico may have, you know, try to sell a watch. I was like, that's a stinker. But I like Federico. Yeah, it'd be fun to do something. I'd like to do a thing with him on sort of more of a philosophical. What is it that attracts us to watches? Um, when Federico was up in New York, he did some things. He used to have a show with the guy, the urban gentry guy. They used to have a show together. They had some kind of falling out. I think he had one with Archie, and there was a falling out. But I mean, like, I don't know, but I think that Federico would probably know better, like than teaming up with anybody again. But yeah, no, a lot of these guys I really like. A lot of the other ones I have would like to, sort of do something with, but I don't, I have no idea what they would want to do. There've been some uh, that we've had sort of like a group of people, and I'll be in that group and do something. But yeah, though that would be a fun thing to do someday. Uh, Marlena, as controversial as Rolex might be, as I, I agree with it. Rolex isn't that controversial. It just, when the only thing controversial about Rolex to me is some of the users. I mean, it's like they invented the wheel. They did everything first. Nothing wrong with the watches. I like Rolexes, but since I'm not really crazy about automatics, but I have some, and also too, I like to see, what's in the back. I like to see the movement. It's just not there for me. But somebody says, "Hey, I got a Rolex and it does this and this." Yeah, that would be interesting, but I don't want to hear, "Oh, well, Rolex always did that first and best." Like, oh, give me a break. And it's sort of a cure for insomnia when I start hearing that. But by and large, Rolexes are great watches. I know a lot of people and they enjoy them so much. Great. Okay, so you can say anything you want to nice about Rolex. HRM, Konstantin Shakin's Cinema is also a super cool. Yeah, that is a nice one. Unicorns can only be rode by female virgins. I'll just pass right on that one, Michael, and go on. Moving right along, Rustem. Who knows why almost no one makes solid gold movements? They look awesome, and they're the price of gold is negligible. Boy, you better take a look at it. It's not too net. I mean, what is it? It's near like $2,000 an ounce. Back in the 70s when they first allowed it to be sold, um, it was like $30 an ounce, but now it's just gone crazy. By the way, the Pioneer retrograde is an Agenor complication. Yes, it is. Absolutely, it is. That is, that's one of the reasons that H. Moser bought a share of Agenor so they could have that kind of talent available to them. What I'm going to do, oh, good. Abdul's here. Abdul, what I'm going to do, I'm going to sell half of Larique to H. Moser or somebody else. And here, you guys can have half. I'll take the money and run. We have no profit. Anybody would pay anybody for Larique is nuts. But the watches we get are fantastic. Okay. Oh, I got a note from Clyde that the rancher told me my time is up. Let me take a look at what you guys have here. That would be to show the watches. Yeah. That'd be good next to show watches. I'm gonna choose. I've got a friend. He's gonna take care of them for me. I think that in the bank. I'll just go into a safety deposit box and put them there. That would be. The thing is that this would be one of. I'd like to take this everywhere I go. But what happened was that I got this really nice Jean Rousseau's gaiter strap, one of those shiny gaiter straps. Love this strap and watch. But I could just see if I came back, I'd probably get hauled in by sights. So I was thinking of taking this one, my Urs Grossmann one, because since it's from Germany, I don't, since my passport shows I've just been to Switzerland. What I'm going to do, Mike M. God, I can't remember anybody's name. I'm going to talk to Mike. Mike goes over there a lot, and there's certain paperwork you have to fill out. So if the watches that you do take, you want to be sure to let them know that you have those. Also, I got to figure out how to tell customs in the U.S. I'm taking this with me. So, that's that. It's about a week, Abdul. I don't know if I will or not. I'd like to go to LeCoultre and maybe talk to the guys at Admin Assist, and also that AB, I think it's called AB Products Case Makers. Those guys I might like to see too. I'll see what happens. We don't know. God, I tell you, this is usually I have things planned what I'm going to do every single day, but for some reason this time my major focus is going to be seeing Agenor and also to the Grand Prix. I got 2 tickets to the Grand Prix. I thought that'd be fun. I'm thinking of trying to have some kind of like a live feed during they'd probably throw me out if I try to have a live feed at the maybe I can do it with my iPhone or something, have it going there and hide it, and every time they have an announcement, put it up. I don't know what I'm going to do. It really, really, really sideways. No, Mark, yeah, cure for insomnia. We'll call them the videos. I like some of the newer Grand Seikos. I tell you, the thing about Seikos, Randy, they're very nice watches. This friend of mine got one, and he was wearing it the other day when we went out for coffee. And I looked at that thing and I said, God, it's a gorgeous watch. And it was a really good price, too. And it was a good watch. It was a good price, and it looks great. So, yeah, Seiko's done a heck of a job. Hey, Von Cruel. I like to go to where the hype isn't. I have to really love a watch to pay the hype premium to get one. Yeah, I'm with you, Von Cruel. If a watch is popular, to me, it's more epiphenomenal to the fact that I like it. It's got nothing to do with what I like or don't like. If it happens to be popular, that's okay. If not, I could care less. One watch that is not popular that I really like is that Van Cleef and Arpels. Love that watch, and it's not popular. Or my Fabergé, I like it too, and it's not popular, but favorite watches to wear. I like all my Parmigianis too. I like them all. Never met one I didn't like. What do you think of Senator Chronometer Regulator? I tell you, I really like those. I think the Senator is one of those overlooked models. I like it. I don't know if you have one or not, 911, but I do like it. HRM. Pro tip. If you do buy a watch in Switzerland, ship the boxes, wear it on the plane. I will do that. I will do that. Believe me, I'll do that. In fact, I may leave the box there. I mean, right now, what I do, I have my box. I put it in a closet. I have no plans on buying a watch in Switzerland. Of course, that doesn't mean anything. If I see a watch I really want, but that's another story. getting booted out of the Grand Prix. Hey, buddy, you're 86. Out of here. Oh, that would be fun. Make for great video, though. How many other videos have we had ever by anybody that somebody's getting kicked out? We had, I forgot, somebody was in Mexico and they got in trouble. They were, an AB stamp on a Longa case. Really? Oh, that's interesting, Truman. Yeah, we just started working with them. AB product, AB concept, um, in LeLoc. I gotta write them and see if I can set up. Here's the problem. I've been getting used to try to write all of my communications in a language that's used. Well, my pronunciation is atrocious. My Google French and German and everything else is pretty good because I got this program called Deep L. It's free. I got the free version. You can also pay for it, and they'll do some other stuff. But Deep L is if you're to communicate to make it easy for the person receiving a message to understand it. It's really a great thing. I think it's a great idea to use whatever language they're most comfortable in. Okay, the German-Swiss border is 35 clicks away. They always ask if you got chocolate watches and cheese when you drive back home. Yeah. So, oh, that's funny. Abdul, they caught you, I understand. You had all this chocolate around your mouth. Who, me? That would be fun. Last year you could see GPHG ceremony live. You probably can this year too. But they didn't have my comments like they gave it to that one. How what were they thinking? Since I'm one of the members now, I know what they're thinking. I got let me say this in defense of the GPHG process. They've got like 900 members. We all vote twice. And then the final thing is that then they have a group of judges who are been doing this for a long time, who really knows a lot of stuff. And so it's not a popularity contest, and it's not like, when you got a company like Harboring 2, little company in Austria who's won 4 awards, I mean, not nominations. Larique is yet to get a nomination. That'll be the next 2 that Abdul and we'll try to get to know the right people. Get it across. Okay, guys. Okay, one last things. Von Cruel, I'd love to do a module for SW200 or SW300 with a jumping hour and retrograde minutes. That would be a neat thing. You'd like to make such a watch, even with one times zone, with a time zone. Why don't you do it? I mean, if you know how to do that, go ahead and do it. Like my skills they're pretentious, but not very good. Those are my watchmaking skills. Anyway, guys, thank you all for dropping by and telling me about everything. And some of you guys I'll see tomorrow. And take care. Okay, Glenn, one last thoughts on colic. I don't know them. I wish I had. Take care, guys.